So this is what Marvel should be doing. These are the kind of issues that Marvel should be making. Marvel needs to stop with the SJW gender politic bullshit. Start making awesome stories like this. This is why I got back into comics after being away for so long. I mean, from top to bottom, from beginning to end, this issue is amazing. I can't get enough of how awesome this is. Part of me is just dreading, just waiting for the other shoe to fall. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But so far, this is a superb issue. So we start off when we get a little look into psychics, and I like this little piece of description. First, the realization, usually in childhood, that the voices echoing, raging, shouting through their heads are other people's thoughts. And the second, when they understand that no one else can hear them. A child blind from birth experiences something similar when they learn that nearly every other living being in the world possesses a sense they do not, sight. A tragedy, underobserved and profound, a great reassessment of their relationship to the world. But for a psychic, this moment is different. In that instant, they realize one simple thing. Everyone else is blind. To psychics, the world is open. Oh my god, that is so good. Why can't we have more of this? Marvel, you have all the talents. Utilize them. Like, this is amazing writing. So we start off and we see psychics from around the world, and something's happened to them. They're all being killed off, but we don't see what. Something just snaps and they just fall to the floor dead. So then we go to London, where we see Psylocke, and the same thing starts happening to her. Something attacks her mentally. So then she sends out her power, asking for help however she can get it. And so we go Astonishing X-Men. I am going to butcher these names. So we got Soule, I think that's how you pronounce it. As a writer, we got Jim Cheung as a penciler. Mark Morales, Guillermo, Ortega, Walden, Wong as the inkers. I think these guys did a lot. The people here did an amazing job. The writing is awesome. Penciling, inking, coloring. Like, I have no complaints whatsoever. So here's something that I've noticed, especially after Diversity in Comics mentions it a couple of times. And now every time I read a Marvel issue, I cannot help but noticing this. The editor is always a male. The assistant editor is always a female. Every single time. Now, like, if it happens a couple of times, okay, it's just coincidence or happenstance. But the fact that it's for every single issue, it's kind of creepy. It's kind of like, why is this a thing? Why does every assistant editor have to be a female and every editor have to be a male? Like, go ahead and pick up any Marvel issue. Like, next time you go to the comic book store, just pick up a Marvel issue, flip to the credits, and you'll see male's editor, female assistant editor. Every time. Doesn't fail. I have no idea why. I'll just keep going though. So we have Bishop in the British Museum, and we kind of get like introductions to all of the starring cast for this. He's doing some research. In Scotland, we have Angel, and he receives a call. Paris, we have Gambit. I'm so glad Gambit's back. Just a little off subject. Gambit was one of my favorite comic book heroes as a kid. In fact, as a kid, I would say he actually was number one, just barely beating Spider-Man. And I fell in love with him with the X-Men cartoon series. And then we have, I guess his name is Phantomex. I have no idea who this is. I looked him up a little bit. So he was created in 2002. So yeah, that was when I was taking my break in between comics. So there was no way I would have known who this guy is. But apparently he's a mutant / sentinel hybrid. And I guess he has some kind of past relationship with Psylocke. That's kind of like as far as my knowledge of him goes. I'm assuming he's French. Either that or he's just mimicking Gambit's way of speaking. And then we have Rogue and Old Man Logan, which kind of confused me at first. Because this this series is supposed to be set in like the present times. So why would Logan be old? But apparently this is not our Logan. I guess our Logan is dead, and this is Logan from another universe who killed off his X-Men, and now he's in this universe. Which I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know why they have some kind of fascination with Old Man Logan. Anytime there's a Logan in the current Marvel universe, it has to be Old Man Logan. Why can't we just have regular Logan? Like, I know they like killed him off apparently, but I mean, you can always bring him back. It's not gonna stop the other comic characters before. I don't know. I'm kind of sick and tired of Old Man Logan, but whatever. He does a good job in this issue so far. So we see everyone receiving Psylocke's message: Bishop, Angel, Gambit, and Rogue. So we have this giant butterfly attacking this building, and it's basically Psylocke just like exerting all her power, trying to ask for help, but also like hurting people and damaging buildings and stuff, because it looks like someone's like controlling her. So basically everyone shows up to help Psylocke. But man, just like look at some of this art. Like, this is amazing. Like, the coloring is great. The females actually look like females. That's a problem Marvel has. Marvel lately, like, all their females basically look like Michelangelo. If you look at any of his female statues, Michelangelo was like obsessed with the male body, and he thought the male body was perfect. So if you look at any of his like female statues, his female statues are actually just male bodies with tits added on. Like, no joke. Like, look at some of his sculptures. That's basically what Marvel is doing. Like, Marvel is just masculizing the hell out of their females. You can literally put your thumb over a female superhero in a Marvel comic. Not even a superhero, just a female character. Put your thumb over her head and just look at the body, and you would swear it was a man. Like, but not here. Women look like women. Art's amazing. It's kind of hard to like talk about this issue, just because like it's so great. Like, there's really nothing to point out. We get this really cool action pose with Logan. Here's another thing that this issue does so right that Marvel has a problem doing with their other issues. There's actually a lot of action in this. Like She-Hulk went through what, like 4 issues before she hulked out, and even then there was no fight. Like, she's on issue number 7 right now, or is it 8? And she has yet to fight anyone, really. It's just terrible. You'll go like whole issues, just nothing but dialogue. And there's like nothing happening on. And it's like, why am I reading this? But here's this whole issue is just basically nonstop action with our heroes fighting Psylocke's powers. We got Logan being more just consistently badass. Like, this is another great thing that this issue does that Marvel has a problem with. They're making their classic heroes awesome. Like, their classic heroes aren't taking a back seat to the new modern counterparts. Logan is badass. Gambit is badass. Phantom X is pretty cool. Like, this is the first time I've ever seen this guy, and I'm already like thinking, okay, this guy's pretty cool. I might check out some of the old like comics with him in it, because I like it so far. I really like his design as well. I don't know, the black on white is really good, but he just seems like a cool character. And then we have Bishop arriving to help out. And yeah, this is where Bishop kind of explains Old Man Logan. He's like, hey, I'm Bishop. You're the Logan who killed all the X-Men in your home dimension, right? Yeah. You're going to kill all the X-Men here too? Don't want to. Probably won't. That's a pretty cool line. I don't really know too much about Bishop. All my knowledge of Bishop is from the X-Men cartoon. All I know is that he is from the future. He was sent back in the past to stop one of the X-Men, I guess, who betrayed the group and caused like an apocalypse. And at first he thought it was Gambit, and that's all I remember. I don't remember like who exactly it was, but yeah, I think he's from Cable's time, right? As far as I know, that's all my knowledge of him is. I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar with Bishop. So then the Angel grabs him and brings him towards Rogue. And the problem is that Psylocke has been infected, and Rogue can draw it out, but then it would just be in her. But because of Bishop's powers, he would be able to get rid of it. So Rogue, touches Psylocke's face to absorb her powers, and then once she starts absorbing them, she immediately locks lips with Bishop to give it to him. And this kind of bothered me. She didn't need to lock lips with him. She could have just easily touched him. And the reason why it bothers me is kind of stupid, but like I said, I got into comics through the X-Men cartoons and stuff like that. So I've always been a like Gambit Rogue shipper. I don't even want to use that word, because it's not like I write like fanfic or draw fan art or anything like that with them. But I'm just one of those where like if you got to pair Rogue or Gambit up, it should be with each other and no one else. Like that's just my mindset, but it's just because of when I was a kid. That's how it was, and that's how like I still want it to be. So like the fact that they have her like kissing someone else just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and it's so stupid. But I'm hoping that this was just like a one-off scene, and this isn't like the foundation for something in the future. Just because I think Rogue was made for Gambit, Gambit was made for Rogue. So they're able to save Psylocke. Everything calms down. Then Gambit, Logan, and Phantom X arrive, and we get this brief little scene where Rogue's like, "See, you picked up a bad case of Gambit. Where do you find him?" And Gambit replies, "Well, that's a fine hello to the love of your life. Still, Remy? Always Sherry." Hopefully that relationship continues. So then Beast arrives, and I guess one little nitpick, I'm not too fan of what they did with Beast here. The whole cat face. I mean, for me, Beast always had, he was always covered in fur and all that stuff, but his face resembled more of a human than this. I don't know, it's just, I want it to be a little bit more human. I guess, yeah, that's like one of my nitpicks is I don't care for the way Beast looks here. But he arrives, and Psylocke says it was a spider that caused all this. Amal Farouk? I don't know how to say that name. I'm just going to call him the spider. It's the Shadow King, and he wants us all. So everyone looks really worried. And this is another great thing that they do. They really set the stakes here. Like, no one is making a joke or making light of this situation. Everyone knows this is a big deal. This is another thing that Marvel has a problem with their other issues, is that there's no stakes. Or anytime something serious or something big is going to happen, the suspense is immediately killed off because the characters poke fun of it or crack a joke or something. Like they're not able to be scared of anything. Well, the modern characters, anyways. And it just, to kind of go off topic, I used to be a huge wrestling fan. I still watch it. Well, I watch like New Japan and Lucha Underground. Don't really watch much WWE. And it's because of stuff like this. It's because mostly of guys like Roman Reigns and John Cena who kind of drove me off. They don't sell any feuds. Like John Cena, his opponents will like pour their heart out into a promo and hype it up and be super intense. And then John Cena just kind of smirks it off. And it's like, that's not how you build a feud. You got to make your opponents look tough and larger than life. Like, look at Hogan. Hogan would sell every feud no matter who he was facing against. I mean, he would go against the fucking Yeti in WCW, and he would sell the Yeti as a big deal. That's something that Marvel has an issue with, it seems. No one sells anything as being a big deal. Everything is like, as soon as like there's a big threat, one of the characters will just laugh it off or make a joke about it, and then it's like, okay, well, all that suspense just died off. There's nothing at stake now. But here everyone looks terrified of what they just heard, and they're even asking, like, "Are you sure? Are you sure it's him? Like, he should be dead." It's like, no, it was him. He's going after psychics, building a web. He wants to use us to force his way out of the astral plane and back into this world. He had me. I couldn't even fight it. He had me. I've never felt him so strong. He was like a wave of filth. I was drowning in sewage. He wants to fill the world with poison and watch us rot from the inside out. My God, like, that is so good. And like, it really builds up the suspense. Like, holy shit, this guy is a big deal. And this is a serious threat that we have to undertake. So then Psylocke says, "I can send you to his realm, the astral plane. Turn the Shadow King back. Kill him if you can. If he takes another psychic at my power level, even close to it, every person on Earth will choke on their own despair." So then the team splits up. Some people will go. Some people are going to stay. Logan goes. Rogue goes. Gambit offers himself to go. And Angel is kind of like, should we find somewhere private for this, Betsy? We've attracted some attention. And Psylocke is like, we don't have time to move, or we don't even have time for this conversation. Don't you get it? The guillotine is falling. The nukes are in the air. Farouk has to be stopped now. Like the suspense building is just so amazing. So Angel says that he'll stay to watch over the group. Beast is going to join with Gambit and Logan and stuff, and so is Phantom X. And then we get a little, this is where I figured out that they had some kind of relationship. There's no way I called for your help. You did not, my dear. And after a checkered past, I doubt I would have come if you had. I am here because you called him my best friend in all the world. At least until he pays me what he owes me. Until then, I will do anything to protect him. So we get that Phantom X and Psylocke used to be a thing, but they're not anymore, and it was a very bad breakup. So Angel is going to stay, as I mentioned. Bishop decides that he'll stay behind and watch over the group as well. So then Psylocke sends him to the astral plane, and she says, I'm sending you now. Be ready. The moment you arrive in the Shadow King's realm, he will know. And of course he does. Oh, that's such an amazing panel right here. Not quite a splash page, but almost. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but he reminds me of the Kingpin a bit. Maybe it's just a white suit and then the thick body. Like from the waist up, obviously. And then he had the little fez hat. If it's one thing I've noticed in comics and TV, never trust a man wearing a fez hat. I've never seen a man in a fez be like a good guy, ever. They're always villains. So if you see someone wearing a fez hat, don't trust them. So yeah, the X-Men are coming. They're going to try to save the world. It's what we've been waiting for, what we've talked about, which kind of begs the question of who exactly is the we in this conversation. Then we see him with others, I'm assuming psychics. And then we get, my plans will require a slight adjustment, but that's all right. It will be worth it. These poor heroes think they're ready. What's another apocalypse to them, more or less? But they've forgotten the simplest thing, what any psychic could tell them. On the astral plane, the apocalypse isn't a war or melting ice caps or a stray comet. Nothing like that. In this realm, the apocalypse is secret. And then it looks like we have Professor Xavier alive and well. Well, not necessarily well, but alive in any case. And that's how it ends. Oh my god, I can't say enough about this. It is so amazing. Why can't more Marvel be like this? Or maybe there is. Maybe there are like a bunch of great Marvel comics that are just being buried amongst the pile of shit that they keep putting out. Because Marvel has this flood the shelves strategy where they just keep cranking out comics after comics after comics. Like everybody has their own series. And because of that, like the good ones seem to get buried amongst a pile of trash. But this is a really good one. Like I am so excited to see where issue 2 is going to go. I can't say enough great things about this. And I'm kind of glad because I've started to notice that with the past few videos, like it was almost like my channel was starting to turn into a anti-Marvel channel, which I don't want because I didn't get back into comic books so I can do rant videos on them. I came back into comic books because I just randomly picked up an issue and I read it and I enjoyed it. And I'm like, I remembered all the fun I used to have as a kid reading these comics and the adventures it would take me. And I wanted to get that feeling back again. So I started picking up issues and I just kind of wanted to share that experience of someone coming back into comics for the first time in 2 decades and hopefully maybe getting other people interested in comics, people who haven't been, and just give like a whole different take. Because there are plenty of YouTube channels out there with very knowledgeable people who know like even the littlest things about comics. Like they know like the history of the writers and all of that stuff. And I don't even know any of that. Like you can mention a writer to me and I'm like, I have no idea who that is. Other than some of the more infamous people like Bendis and Chip Zdarsky and Dan Slott. But I know them not for good reason. So that's why I started doing these videos, was because I wanted to do something different from Let's Plays, but also because I just wanted to show like my love, my returning love for comics. And I noticed that like lately it hasn't seemed that way because the comics I've been reading, all by Marvel, have just been terrible. But this is why I got back into comics. This is why I got into comics in the first place. Because of issues like this. So here's hoping Marvel continues to do more Astonishing X-Men and less America Chavez, Captain Marvel, She-Hulk, and all that other SJW garbage. This is what Marvel needs to do. They need to make more issues like this, more series like this. But yeah, everything about this is great. The art is fantastic. The writing is amazing. I didn't get too much into it, but the art is fantastic. Other than Beast, I don't really care for Beast's design, but I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me. The inking, the coloring, I didn't go too much into the coloring, but the coloring is great. Everything about this issue is amazing. Like, I can't say enough about how great this is. So pick it up. Let's hope Marvel continues doing more of this. Let's hope this series continues to be amazing. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know, for anyone who's read this, what do you guys think? Is there, for anyone who reads Marvel, is there any Marvel comics like this? Like, are there any Marvel comics out there that are amazing, but are just being buried under a pile of shit that deserve a lot more recognition than they get? I'm always looking forward to good comics. I don't want this, like I said, there's YouTube channels out there if you want just people ranting on comics. I don't want this to end up like that. I mean, if a comic is bad, then I'll rant on it. But if I don't, I'm not gonna go out of my way looking for crappy comics just to rant on them. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll catch you guys all next time. Later.